God shows you what he wants you to see. You can take a glass of water and line 12 people up, and each one of them will give you a different answer regarding that glass of water. There is no one set way when it comes down to the Word of God, because that's how God talks to us. Through that prayer, God uses a lot of things to talk to us. So there's no one set way to communicate with Him. It's not. People would like to convince you that there is, that you have to do this, do that, blah, 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 to enter into His presence. Well, it's not. Because God is continuously talking. We just have to get on the right frequency. We just have to tune in to the right one. It's not a party line. It's a private line. We're on the party line because we got all this stuff going on. And only the old school folks will understand what a party line is. They died out early 80s. I remember we had one when we first moved in to our house in Highland Hills and picked up the phone. It was a party line. I was like, whoa. Wow. Yeah, and we moved into our house in Highland Hills early 80s. Very early, like 80, 81, something like that. Somewhere between 80 and 82. Put it like that. 80, 81, yeah. And it was a party line. Blew me away. But, like I said, God is continuously talking. Continuously. And He's really and truly wanting us to answer. Say, hey, what's up? What you need? What can I do? But the only way we're going to get there, is to spend time in His Word. To spend time, I'm going to say, chewing the fat. To spend time meditating on the Word, thinking about it. Even if you just run it over and over and over and over and over and over in your mind, God will begin to talk to you about it. You can read it like you would a story. Read each one of them, each chapter like a story, like a chapter book. And God will talk to you. You will ask questions. All of that. Prime example. I'm going to use a story out of the Old Testament. King Hezekiah. I can't remember what book it is. Can't remember what chapter. Don't remember what verse. But I do remember what went down. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. Go look it up. And like I said, we're talking about King Hezekiah. This is Old Testament, okay? And it really reflects. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and God dropped it into my head. Like I said, the way God gave it to me is the way I say it. And I was talking to him, and I was telling him about King Hezekiah. When God sent the prophet to tell King Hezekiah to get his shit in order, he getting ready to die. King Hezekiah rolled over, started talking to God. God, give me some more time. I'm asking you, give me some more time. God told the prophet, go back, tell him he got 15 more years. That wasn't days, weeks, months, or hours. That was right then and there. Okay? Some of y'all might know where I'm going with this. Then again, probably not. Prophet go back. Tell Hezekiah. Tell King Hezekiah. God said you got 15 more years. King Hezekiah, I know. You say, okay, what proof do you want? Well, I already know he can let the stuff go down early. Can he roll the sun back? Prophet said, okay, consider it done. Time on the sun, this is just me, go read it for yourself. I don't want to hear no lip. So, time on the sundial, go back X amount of degrees. Okay? Cool. That's God for you. He can do that. He got it like that. But see, Hezekiah, or should I say King Hezekiah, remind me of us. Remind me of our choke points. Because we say, yes, I believe every word in the Bible. I believe it. I believe it from in the beginning to the end in the book. From in the beginning in the book of Genesis to the end in the book of Revolution, aka Revelation. You say you believe it from cover to cover. Cover to cover. If it say on the outside, genuine leather, and you know it's leather, you still gonna say, hey, it's genuine leather. Why? Because that's what it said. You don't question it at all. Okay? And that's good. Back to King Hezekiah. Prophet came and told him, God said he's going to give you 15 more years. Well, how will I know? Said, okay. God said he's going to roll time back on the sundial. What was it, 10 degrees, something like that? And he did it. King Hezekiah, thanks. Here's my question. And this goes for us in this day and time. Why is it? Okay. King Hezekiah, when the prophet told him, God said you're going to die. He took it to heart and started immediately praying, crying out to God. Immediately. Okay? God answered that prayer. He answered it. God, only boss, you got what you asked for. Prophet come back and say, yeah, God said you got it. He's going to give you. He's going to give you 15 years. King Hezekiah first said, well, how do I know? What you mean, how do you know? How did you know you were going to die? You were getting ready to die. You had no problems whatsoever taking that bad news to heart. You took it and you ran with it. You took it and you ran with it. You took it to heart. You had no questions about it. No questions whatsoever. No, are you sure? No, why? Nothing. You didn't question it at all. But the minute God did something on your behalf, the first thing you want to do is question it. How is it? When it's something negative, when it's something that's not God-like, so to speak, you can take it to heart. But the minute God come in and say, hey, trust me, I got you. Well, how do I know? Give me a sign. We just like that. Every fucking body you know is just like that. Why? I'll tell you why. Because we don't see God as our rider. You know, and everybody know who a rider. You know who your riders are. You got your ride or dies. You know who your true riders are. You know the ones that'll go balls to the walls on your back. All you gotta do is pick up the phone and say, hey, at such and such time, it's on and crack-a-lacking, and you already know who which rider gonna show up with the shovel and help you bury whatever's left. You already know the one that'll keep that money on the books for you and hold you down while you do your time. You already know the one that'll give you a lung, a kidney, and half the liver if necessary. You already know the one that's like, now, that's the one. Now, you can't even have a negative thought about that one. Because if so, I'm there on it. You know, you got that one. Be it blood or through some shit. You got your rider. You know who your riders are. You know who your true rider is. That will hold you down and move the goddamn planets if necessary to handle up on some shit on your behalf. But none of y'all, none of us, including me, is willing to make God and have God as our rider. We do lip service, but in our heart of hearts, he ain't our rider. The first thing, but how? What? I don't know now. I'm not. No. It might not. I don't know. Why is that? Why is that? You know? That's because, like I said, I see it, I'll see it, and I'll see it continuously. The power of God has been systematically preached out of the Christian church in all shape, forms, or fashion. Sure have. Sure have. You're only good for lip service. If you need a miracle, you need a healing miracle, you ain't gonna get it in the church. Not now. It ain't there. It ain't in the pews. And it ain't in the pulpit. It ain't. Go back. Research Azusa Street. Research Azusa Street. Very interesting. Research Smith Wigglesworth, John G. Lake, Evan Roberts, Catherine Kuhlman. Research these folks and see how God used them and what was being done. Ain't none of that been going on since the last one drew their last breath. None of that. Why? Those are the ones, to me, and this is just my opinion, which on the grand scale of things don't mean jack shit to most folks. They had God as their rider. They had God as their rider. Because God was answering their requests left, right, and diagonal. God was doing some things. Left, right, and diagonal. Left, right, and diagonal. You can't even get a sinus infection prayed out. You can't even get kidney stones or gallstones prayed out. You can't even get a headache or eye infection or a toothache prayed out. You can't even get a temperature prayed down. None of that. You can't. Your pastor can't. Your priest can't. None of you can. Because the power of God, the glory of God, the essence of God have left. It done went to the Bahamas. And y'all still sitting around here BSing. And he just waiting. He just waiting. He just waiting. He just waiting. He's waiting. None of you. He say, ask, seek, knock. None of you. None of you asking him. None of you looking for him. None of you trying to kick that door down to get in his presence. But you'll kick that door down to get to everything. You know more about these celebrities. You know more about these athletes than you know about God. You know more about football stats and rules and regulations. Sports stats, rules and regulations. Than you know about God. Then you know about what you should be able to do under the new covenant. Then you know about all of the examples that were done in the old covenant, which is the Old Testament, and the stuff that were done in the New Testament, which is the new covenant. Sometimes I can't help but think Jesus came down here and got his ass whooped for nothing. As Christians, as those of us who claim to believe, we are no different than the Israelites in the Old Testament. We don't went a whoring after everything but what we should be whoring after, which is God. We don't let everything around us be our pimp and hold us out. But you ain't willing to let God be your pimp. You ain't willing to hold yourself out for him. Give you an example. I'm gonna put an old example thing here. Okay. The woman in the Old Testament, she created a room for the prophet. He told her, you're gonna have a baby. She said, son, she did. She had a baby, had a son. Boy grew. He out there in the field working with his dad. Boy gets sick. Daddy sent him in there with his mama. Take him in there with his mama. The boy died in his mama's arms. I call it the all is well woman. That's the all is well story. Because when her son died, and everybody know, when you stop breathing, 5 minutes, you go 5 minutes without oxygen, what? Brain damage. After a while, rigor set in. We already know that. So, her son died. Told her husband, I'll be back. Well, what? All is well. All is well. My version of God got you. God got me. I ain't worried about it. I'll be back. Well, where you going? I gotta go handle up on some stuff. She took her ass to see the prophet, the man of God that told her that God was gonna give her a son. She said, did I ask you to break my heart? Because he sent his assistant out there. And is everything okay? Is your husband well? Is your son well? Is everything going good? She said, all is well. And she kept right on going because she's like, I don't want to deal with no underlings. I want to deal with the HNIC, which is the one that told me God is giving me a son. She get to him. Now keep in mind the underling still trying Gehazi. I want to say his name was Gehazi. I'm not sure. But he trying to get between her and the Elijah. He said, did I ask you to break my heart? Did I ask you to break my heart? Because he told him, God haven't showed me what's bothering her. He knew something was wrong. She did not accept what she saw, which is the body of her son, her dead son. He was as dead as dead. Okay? It ain't like she could pop him in the freezer until she got back. She asked him, did I ask you to break my heart? He told the underling, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go do A, B, and C. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Don't respond. If anybody say, hey, you don't say, hey, how you doing? Fuck you, drop dead, nothing. You go do that. Tunnel vision. This is all I want you to do. Underling hauls ass to the house. She stayed where the source was. Because she said, where you go, I'm going. As the Lord my God lives, I ain't going nowhere without you. I came to see you. I got business with you. Not with your underling, but with you. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You. He was like, okay, come on, let's go. So this woman, I want this woman up out my house. Her faith wasn't in the underling. I'm not saying the underling couldn't do it, because he was apprenticing on Elijah. She said, no, I can't see you. I can't see you. So Elijah go to the house, boy still dead. Still dead. Elijah take him up, does what he does. God put the life back into that boy. There was no physical damage. There was no brain damage. None of that. And we all know that boy should have been sure enough brain dead based on what we've been taught here in the natural. That woman wasn't willing to embrace the bad stuff, which was, it's right here in her face. She couldn't deny it. Her son was dead. He stopped breathing. Okay? He was dead. And he was dead for a good grip. Lazarus was dead for 3 days. Her son was dead for some hours. Because, it ain't like she just walked outside, went next door, or went 3 houses down. She had to travel by foot. She didn't get an Uber. She didn't get a Lyft. She didn't get in her car and go. She had to go that before all of the stuff that we used to. She couldn't pick up her cell and say, hey, look, blah, 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 blah. None of that. And her husband didn't even know where she was going. She just told him, I'm good. You'll be back. She left like she was making a trip to Walmart. Because she knew she was going to get what she left home to get. And she knew where to get it from. And she wasn't willing to accept anything less. Why are we not like that when it comes down to our relationship with God? You accept all of this mess. All of this mess. You settle. God gave that boy his life back. You can't stretch your mind around. You get a phone call. Hey, Jane Doe, let's say it's your sister, sister-in-law, niece, nephew, daughter, whatever. Committed suicide. First thing you do, break down and all this, start planning the funeral. You mean to tell me you don't have what it takes inside of you to say, death, no. You're going to have to release this. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I ask you, I command that death, let this person let their soul go and put it back in their body? Well, be it car accident. They died at the scene. And? Well, you know they, and? Where they at? Take me there. You are supposed to have so much of God in you, so much of the power of God in you, so much of the glory and the essence of God in you that you can walk into anything and life returns. You can walk in there and the body begins to get back to where it was before the nightmare happened. Doctor says, okay, we're going to have to amputate. Really? And then they run a test again and come to find out whatever it was that was leading them up to amputating is gone. It's completely restored, completely renewed. Or they say, hey, you're behind on your payments, be it your house, be it your car, be it your whatever. And you go to God and then they call you back. I'm sorry, I see where they made a mistake in your account. Matter of fact, you've overpaid. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You ain't trying to get something for nothing. You are doing what you were supposed to be doing, which is doing what God put us